Alright, so let's jump into another Ikoria Premier Draft. Again, this is a draft with 7 other people, 8 players in all, sitting down, basically at a table together, opening up packs, passing the cards around, picking one at a time, much like they draft in real life. And we're off, so let's see what we get for our first rare here. Crystalline Giant, I think, is actually very good for a number of reasons. Just as a reminder, we have a 1-minute time limit here, so I'm not going to talk about all the cards in the pack, but Crystalline Giant becomes this impossible to deal with threat, right? Eventually it gets a hexproof counter on it, then it gets a +1/+1 counter on it, then it's a death touch, vigilance. You know, it just becomes this real problem. It gets flying, it becomes lifelinking, and you can't ignore it, but also it's only 3 mana, it doesn't put us in any direction, is the other big benefit of it. We're not committing to a color. By taking Crystalline Giant, we'll run it in any deck whatsoever, so that's what we're going to take. Besides Crystalline Giant, let's look at the rest of this pack. Sanctuary Lockdown, it's okay. Build around card, sorta. Unbreakable Bond. This is better than it looks in this set because we have all these like big cycling cards like Lava Serpent, but it's not amazing. And yeah, besides that, there's nothing really that stands out. So we'll move on. Okay, Archipelago is really good. Another great thing about Crystalline Giant is it's a good thing to mutate onto. And as far as mutations go, Archipelago is one of the best in terms of actually finishing out the game, because when it mutates the first time, you get to tap down something, and kind of in a Frostlinks kind of way. But when you can get it multiple times, that's when you really, I mean, these are locking down creatures for a couple turns, so that's really powerful. There's also Pacifism, might just be better than Archipelago. Pacifism is kind of hit or miss in this format. It's great because it locks down these big mutation threats, but it also doesn't take them off the board. So I guess if we take blue here, we are kind of sending a lot of blue cards back, though. Like, Neutralize is a good card. This is a tough one for sure. I think we take Archipelago. I think that's definitely debatable. This is more of an in-game threat, whereas Pacifism is pretty good at all stages of the game. So there is some argument into just taking Pacifism there. But now that we're in it, out of this pack, Fertility is good. We're seeing another Sanctuary Lockdown. I mean, we could, if we had taken that Pacifism, we could have maybe taken this, tried to wheel the other one, and go into some sort of human tribal. I think now that we're on this plan, though, Insatiable Hemogauge is fine as a mutation target. And as a 3-mana, or a 4-mana 3/3 Death Touch is good. Fertilid's also good as just a ramp spell. It could be like a blue-green ramp deck. 6 mana is not insignificant. It's also something you can mutate onto, and it'll put +1/+1 counters on the creature effectively. I think we take the Hemogauge here. Maybe we go towards a blue-black mutation plan. So here we have a pretty easy one, I think. There are some good cards, like Momentum Rumbler is definitely a good threat. Great thing to mutate onto. Divine Arrow is pretty good. Hampering Snare, I mean, it's a situational card, but it has cycling, so it's fine. Of One Mind's pretty good. Cavern Whisper would be pretty interesting in this like blue-black mutate plan we're working on. But just nothing's going to beat Fartfinder. Fartfinder is straight up first pickable in this format, and wow, I'm kind of regretting not taking that Pacifism. We've seen some good white cards going around, so we probably will take Deadweight here because we're in this blue-black plan. Splendor Mare is way better than Deadweight. I mean, Deadweight's fine, though. Splendor Mare is just a great card. It has, you can cycle it away when it's not great, and you get lifelink out of it, which is one of the better abilities to just randomly bestow onto a creature. Putting it on like a big creature like Archipelago and gaining us 7 life can really win us the game in a lot of cases, but I think we take the removal. We'll stick on our blue-black plan. Here we have Escape Protocol is an interesting card. The hard thing about this card is really cool, you really want to build around it, but there's not kind of the enter the battlefield ability space in this set has been taken up by the mutation, like when this thing mutates to X. So it's kind of hard to make this work. You can, like, bounce a mutate creature or Blinka mutate creature, and they all come back in separately, which is a pretty neat trick. The best card in the pack is definitely Fire Prophecy, and red does look kind of open. We could also take this Lurking Deadeye, which is fine. We'll take the Lurking Deadeye. We are getting some signals that red might be open, but we have a pretty good black card there, so I think we just take that. We're definitely not seeing a lot of blue, so that's a little concerning. I think the best card in this pack is probably prickly Marmoset as a decent cycling payoff, and just a 2/3 first strike for 3 isn't bad. So we'll take that speculatively. We would like to stick in these colors if we could. Essence Scatter is fine. Blade Vanish is also fine. Phase Dolphin's just okay. Turtle is good if we're in like a Flyers deck. We're not really looking like that though. And the rest of the pack is pretty middling to bad, so we'll take the Essence Scatter here, stick in our colors. Well, the Sanctuary Lockdown actually did come around. There was some sort of humans deck we could have gone into for sure. I think we take Boot Nipper here. Keep Safe is okay, especially in this sort of mutation strategy, but it doesn't stop abilities that target your a permanent you control, and there are a lot of like Archetypes, for example. It wouldn't stop him. So there are a lot of things in this set that it just misses on. It's easy to end up against an opponent that just doesn't have enough effects or cards that it actually stops, and it becomes sort of a dead card. Here, we could take Survi Crystal. It could help us splash something, potentially if we splash like red or white. I think that's better than Sleeper Dart or Gloom Pangolin, so we'll take that. There's the Sanctuary Lockdown. I guess do we want 2? I don't think we want 2. We'll just take the Adaptive Shimmer. Probably won't play it, but... Okay, so which is better out of these two situational cards? Both of them are situational. Yeah, both of them are situational. Both of them we will cycle most times. I guess Suffocating Fumes is a little easier to blow people out with. Put this Prickling Marmoset in the sideboard for now. Keep Safe. Again, we're not going to main deck that, and there aren't sideboards in this format. It's only best of one. So there is a limit. Dang, this person's got some packs piled up. There is a limit to a lot of these cards that would be good in the sideboard just really don't have a home in this format. Like, Keep Safe, you bring it in against a deck with a ton of removal, but... Oh, Obosh the Prey Piercer. Okay, so Obosh, we have to play all odd converted mana cost cards if we play that. So what are we losing at this point? We would lose Essence Scatter, Boot Nipper, Insatiable Hemogauge, and Lurking Deadeye. We basically lose most of our black cards, but we absolutely take it, I think. This is just a bomb. Yeah, and then so for the rest of the match, we're gonna not pick any 2-drops or 4-drops. That's the real big misses. This is a 7-drop, so we can play that, even though it's got a mutation cost for 6. But what else is in the pack? Nothing that even comes close. So yeah, we're gonna take Obosh, and we are definitely gonna go for the companion half. So we're pretty wide open here, actually. We've kind of just lost a lot of picks by picking this. Obosh. We do want to be in either red or black, so we would like to stay in black now. Even more, I mean, we got basically no blue cards now either, so we kind of reset our draft a bit. I think we take Farfinder, just great. It becomes a 2/2 with Obosh, gets us to our mana. We're always going to have something to do on turn 5. That's another thing we should keep an eye on, is we no longer really need to worry about like 5-drops. We're always going to have one, and a pretty good one at that. So do we take the Farfinder, or do we take the Splendor Mare? We could also take the Primal Empathy, but then we're probably in like Sultai. I think we take the Farfinder, just leave ourselves open. We're just still pretty much completely open at this point. Can't play Void Beckner, can't play Boneyard Lurker, can't play Blood Curdle. That's pretty brutal. We are missing out on stuff by picking this Obosh for sure. So given that, what do we take that we're most likely to play? I think we just take the Frostveil Ambush as a cycler. I think that's better than taking like the Convolute here, so we'll take the Frostveil because we can just cycle this away most games. Ugh. Okay, this is 5 mana. Man. Quartzwood Crasher is very good. We gotta pick a direction here. This Obosh has kind of wrangled us a little bit. We're kind of all over the place right now, but if I take Quartzwood Crasher, we end up probably in like Jund. What do we lose? We lose the Archipelago and the Frostveil Ambush. I think that's worth it. So we're gonna go towards Jund and see if we can make that work. So, well, Migration Path is a good card for that. We can't run it though because it costs 4 converted mana cost. Draining the Stinger. All these. Is there anything in this pack we can really run that's good? No. I mean, there's great cards here. Blood Curdle, Dark Bargain, but I guess we just take the Bastion of Remembrance. It doesn't even get boosted by our Obosh, unfortunately, because it's life loss instead of damage. I think that's better than anything else. Yeah, we can't run really anything else in this pack. Humble Naturalist would be great. But I think so we either take the Frill Skull Mentor here, or we take the Farfinder. I guess we just take the Farfinder, and maybe we end up in like some sort of 5-color craziness, because we just have a lot of fixing at this point. Just odd 5-color everything, pretty much. If that's the case, we will... I guess we could play Patagia Tiger. Yeah, let's just go into 5-color. Can't play Boon, can't play Bastion, or we can play Bastion, but it's not especially good. I guess we can take the Brushwag here. It's not the worst card in the world. Take the Brushwag. Let's see, what can we actually run if we're going 5-color? We'll just bring in everything that has an odd converted mana cost and figure it out from there. So, Frostveil Ambush back in, Archipelagore back in, and maybe even these Adaptive Shimmerers if we need to. Night Squad Commando is pretty good. That is what we'll be taking, in fact. It's an odd converted mana cost card, and also it is a... it's just a good card. And... let's see, we'll take the... We could take this to give us even more fixing, the Cartridge Crystal, if we really are going in 5 colors, but I think we'll take playable cards over fixing. We might not need to go into 5 colors. In this case, though, we have nothing except fixing we can actually use. Yeah, I guess we take Monstrous Egg. It's better than Spontaneous Flight. It's at least a creature, right? Here we'll take the fixing. Whisper Squad, we can't... I guess we can cast Whisper Squad. If we end up with a bunch of Whisper Squads, they're actually pretty good with Obosh, I guess. And, yeah, okay. We'll take this coordinated... oh, my goodness. Karuga. So we can't... Now, this is a tricky one. If we play Karuga as our companion instead of Kobosh, or instead of Obosh, where do we end up? We can bring in like this Hemogauge and this Lurking Deadeye. We lose our 1-drops, which really deadweights the Big Lost. What else is in this pack? Capture Sphere we can't cast. Cavern Whisper we can cast. Oh, Eviction Mole, or Excavation Mole is pretty good with our... Oh, we're actually going to take the Mole. Okay. I almost ran out of time there, but we're going to stick on our plan with Obosh. Maybe we should have, there's an argument we should have shifted over to our companion being the big man there, because we do have a lot of like 3 drops and up just because we can't take 2 drops. But I ran out of time. So here, there's really nothing. All this stuff is odd converted mana cost. I guess we take Alert Heat Bonder. We do have some Vigilance with this these Farfinders, and it's just a 3-mana 2/4, which is a fine body. So I guess we'll take that. Swallow Hole. I don't know how many white creatures we... Oh, we just tap a creature. I thought it had to be a white creature. Okay, we might just take Swallow Hole here. It is removal, and it is odd converted mana cost, which is kind of hard to come by. So we'll take Swallow Hole. We're straight up in the 5-color plan here. Unfortunately, like, all the fixing is at even converted mana cost, like this Humble Naturalist and the 4-mana double ramp spells. Here we will take... We take Thieving Otter. We could also take Memory Leak as just a decent card that we can cycle away if we can't cast it. I think we do value cards with cycling more in this deck than maybe any other deck. Okay, and we will take... Can't play Valiant Rescuer. We can play Snare Tactician. We do have a decent number of cyclers. We can also play Spellier Wolverine. It's just a decent card. I guess we take the Snare Tactician. Yeah. Well, it's a human. We do need... Yeah, you know what? We'll take the Snare Tactician. That's fine. Genesis Ultimatum. That is an odd converted mana cost card. 7 mana. And we can probably cast it, actually. I think we're gonna take the Genesis Ultimatum. Man, this is a weird deck. We're gonna be all over the place with this deck, but it'll be pretty good. Ooh, Mystic Subdual was a really good, sneaky good removal spell, but I think we take the of one mind here, and here we don't have a lot. I guess we take the Patagia Tiger as a castable card. I think that's better than a Shimmer. Well, we can take the Helica Glider here. It is castable in our deck. Yeah, we'd like to end up in Teamer at the end of all this, but we just got a bunch of white picks in a row. We'll see if we can make Teamer work because of this Genesis Ultimatum. Teamer is where we want to be for our, like, rares, like Obosh, Quartzwood Crasher. I guess we probably should have just picked Karuga based on its power. I was thinking about it in terms of whether we wanted it to be our commander or not, but maybe we should have just picked it as a main deck card anyway. We picked the Mole instead of it. Yeah, that was probably wrong. We could have played Karuga as a 5-drop in our main deck, and it probably would have been decent. But like I said before, we kind of already have a built-in really good 5-drop, so we don't really need, like, Coordinated Charge, and Patagia Tigers get worse for sure. Yeah, take the Dolphin, the only card we can cast. We'll see if we can end up in Teamer. Let's take out all the white cards for a second. Teamer Splashing Black would be nice. We'll take this as a decent sideboard card, and we can cycle it away. Or not sideboard, but a decent card we can cycle away when we don't need it. Take the castable card, take, I guess, Suffocating Fumes, and take Plane. So this is a weird deck for sure. Our commander is going to be Obosh. So, can we, let's just take out all the black cards too. We have a lot of good black cards, so we don't really want to do this, but let's just try it and see where we end up. I guess we actually don't have that many good black cards. We only really have the Deadweight that we want to play. So let's see where we're at here. Yeah, this Survi Crystal doesn't really help us. And we could bring in the Adaptive Shimmerers here. And where does that leave us? Swallowhole is another white card. So if we're running it like this, bring in the Adaptive Shimmerers, bring in just some cards we can cycle. We've got this free white splash, so is there any white cards we can cycle here? I mean, there's Coordinated Charge. I guess that's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I'll bring in that. We're not going to run this plane, we're just going to run this one Windscarred Crag. And I guess we run this Survi Crystal as a, it basically ramps us red, but also, I guess that does give us a black source too. Is there any black cards we would rather run instead of the, that just cycle themselves? Like we could run this Memory Leak. As its cycle is better than Coordinated Charge, right? Because this is cycling 2, Memory Leak is cycling 1. But I think this is more of an effect we could actually use. Like this is actually situationally good. Remember, like we're probably just gonna always cycle it. We're probably just not gonna have the black mana early in the game. If we just have the one black source from Survi Crystal. So do we want to run one planes that we can grab with our Farfinders to cast this Coordinated Charge? Is it even worth it? How many? Okay, we have Archipelagore. We have. So this is more of a 1-drop. This is more of a 2-drop. So if we do run one planes, and let's say we do run this one planes to grab with our Farfinder, that means we have 3, 4, 5, 6 white sources actually, just by running one plane. So maybe these white cards become more castable in that scenario. And we can move out some of these not so great other cards. Like, because we do have some pretty decent, like a Snare Tactician we'd like to run, Helica Glider is fine, Swallowhole is fine. Can we run like a teamer white deck? Patagia Tiger, again, we don't need 5-drops really, but they're probably better than these Adaptive Shimmerers. We really don't have any like mutation effects. Like we have just Archipelagore pretty much to make these Adaptive Shimmerers. Because the trick with Adaptive Shimmer is you flash it in at the end phase, and then whatever you mutate onto it gets its stats +3/+3 from the counters. But we really don't have mutation payoffs for that, so can we play the Patagia Tigers? Snare Tactician, Helica Glider, maybe not both and Swallowhole. Swallowhole gives us a bit more removal. So we're actually just playing straight up 4 colors here. Where does that put us in terms of mana? We are very We're leaning super hard on the Farfinders in this case. This Genesis Ultimatum is something we do like way at the end game. In this sense, we would probably never cast this on turn. I guess we can go down planes here though. So for blue sources, that puts us at 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, red sources, that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For green sources, that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And for white sources, that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we always want to have red, right? Even though we don't have that many red cards, we do have this card. We're always going to have it red. So maybe go down 1 plains, go up 1 mountain, and actually all this. What is this? Oh, enable companion filter. So actually, we want to get rid of this mysterious egg too because we don't have anything to mutate onto it. So I wonder if spontaneous flight is okay. I mean, with pump spells, it does become better, right? Like if we spontaneous flight onto our our excavation mole, we make it a 5/5 with flying, and all of a sudden it deals 10 damage to our opponent with Hemogauge. So maybe spontaneous flight's good. Okay. Yeah. I think this is where we want to be. This is definitely a weird deck. Still not sure on the mana exactly, but we do have a lot of cyclers to help out with that. And, I mean, we've got just a smorgasbord of crazy rares. We've got Genesis Ultimatum, we've got Quartzwood Crasher, we've got our Crystalline Giant, and we've got our commander here, Obosh the Prey Piercer. So let's just run it. I might change the mana as we go, depending on how it runs. I think this is fine, but we'll see. Yeah, let's fire it off. On to game 1. Alright, game 1, and we will keep this. It's not the strongest thing in the world, but we got turn 2, cycle away Coordinated Charge. Turn 3, play our of 1 Mind, draw a couple cards. Hopefully our opponent's not too aggressive here. Boot Nipper is something. Gotta give it Death Touch, I'm assuming. Okay, white is a good draw there, so we will... Yeah, we'll pass turn. I think we cycle away the Coordinated Charge. Barrier Breach, it is kind of sneakily good. Getting 3 enchantments is not nothing. And having cycling 2 makes it definitely main deckable. Satiable Hemogauge, okay. That's now a 3/3 with double Death Touch. And we'll cycle this. We'd love to draw a low converted mana cost creature here. Well, okay, I mean, I guess we play Survi Crystal here so we can play a 5-drop next turn, rather than draw a couple cards. This thing is big. We're going to need to draw something that's not just cyclers. Alright, opponent hits us for 3 again. Potentially more. Okay, just going to put a trample counter on the Hemogauge, sure. Okay, that's a good draw. I think what we do here is... Yeah, we will play the Goriak. We will swallow whole the Hemogauge, tap down our Goriak. We also get a +1/+1 counter on our Goriak, and once we play our Obosh, that means it's going to be effectively a 6/5. Not bad. Another Death Touch. Our opponent's on Death Touch Tribal over there. Heat Bonder's pretty good. This can gain us some life back, get us out of the danger zone. So we are going to, and it also turns on our of 1 Mind, so we're going to cast it. We want to leave white. I guess we can't. So play Heat Bonder, play an island, draw 2 cards. And I guess I attack. I mean, if they want to trade their Death Touching 3/3, that's fine. Oh, they don't. Okay. And then we gain a couple life. Not bad. So our deck's coming together here, our wacky, a million mana colored deck. Okay, 4/3. Opponent passes. I think we cycle this Barrier Breach. Doesn't seem like they have any enchantments we're worried about. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we can't Obosh plus Spontaneous Flight. But I think what we do is... I think we're actually gonna Frostspell Ambush these 2 creatures down. Get in. And then next turn we can Obosh plus Spontaneous Flight and deal a ton of damage to our opponent with a flying, you know, a flying Goriak that does double damage thanks to Obosh. Or if they don't have anything here, we can just play Obosh and kill them. Spontaneous Flight is instant speed, so... Yeah, okay. We're not going to cycle away. We actually like this Phase Dolphin right now. Yeah, we're going to play Obosh. Yeah, go to combat. See what our opponent's got waiting for us. Blood Curdle. We can't save our Obosh. Okay. We do get to play the Phase Dolphin here. Phase Dolphin can make one of our creatures unblockable, and the other one we can give the spontaneous flight to. And that's still a lot of damage. Should be enough to be lethal, I believe. Actually, no, now it definitely is. I think we were actually 1 damage short until they just domed themselves with this Dark Bargain. Okay, that's game. Yep. They mill themselves, and we've got this. So we will Spontaneous Flight. I guess we could also Frostveil Ambush, but we'll just get it over with here. Spontaneous Flight the Goriak. Go to combat, attack with the Phase Dolphin. Make the Heatmonger unblockable, and that is game. Alright, so this deck looked really weird on paper, but good God, is it strong. The one thing we were kind of afraid of is our opponents being super aggressive, because you kind of saw there in the first few turns we were kind of stumbling around. We were just kind of cycling, kind of getting ourselves set up, getting our mana and our cards together in the right order. And if we had an opponent that went like 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop really aggressively and we're just like swinging in, we could just be in too much trouble by the time we get to casting spells. So something to look out for in the future. But I mean, it worked exactly how we planned for it to. This is actually just a straight up 4-color deck. You know, it's teamer white, I guess. But really, the white is just as big as the other teamer components. So 4-color, and it looked pretty good there. Sweet. On to game 2. Alright, back in it with our 4-colored. Let's just play all our rares deck. And yeah, I think we keep this. 1 more mana gets us to Survi Crystal. But even failing that, we've got pretty good mana here between our 2. So any future land drop should be pretty good. Alright, and we'll just start off with Windscarred Crag. Yeah, so I mean, this is, with our crazy deck, we should be having mana problems, you know, but the amount of fixing in this set, we're doing pretty good here. So we will just cycle away this Frostveil Ambush, try to get us to a land. Again, any land pretty much gets us to where we want to be mana-wise, just because we have this Survi Crystal. Okay, so we're up against some sort of mutation deck. It's like Obzon Mutation, perhaps. Okay, and we did hit our land, so do we play Survi Crystal? No, I think we just plop down. If we play Survi Crystal and we draw a land next turn, we could play Quartzwood Crasher on turn 4, which seems pretty good with Spontaneous Flight. You know, I guess we're not really under any pressure, but we also... Okay, I'm going to run out this Crystalline Giant. There's a chance we get... Okay, there was a chance we got Hexproof there, and if we plop that down and get Hexproof before they get a chance to respond to it, then we're just in great shape. We didn't end up getting lucky in that regard, but if they do mutate here and make some sort of threat we want to answer, we do have Swallow Hole to eat it with it, and then our Crystalline Giant will get bigger and start putting more counters on itself, so that's a fine backup plan. Yep, looks like that's probably what we're going to do. Just make their thing a big 4/5, sure. No blocks. So here we'll just take the chance to develop our mana with Survi Crystal. Let's have ourselves set up next turn for a Quartzwood Crasher, and then also we're going to eat their Mutation. Nice 2-for-1, put a counter on a Crystalline Giant, and now it has Vigilance and Flying. So it's turning into a pretty big threat. We really want Hexproof. That's the counter we're waiting for most of all. But we will get in here. Gets in. And... do we just run out? Yeah, we'll just run out Quartzwood Crasher. mean, they are up against it now. We can just play Obosh next turn, and they've got a Quartzwood Crasher, a Crystalline Giant, both having their damage doubled. And this Quartzwood, like, the great thing about doubling the Quartzwood Crasher damage is, wow. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna get to do it. Oh my god, our opponent just scoops it up. So we were gonna hit with this Quartzwood Crasher for about 12, and the way Quartzwood Crasher works is anything with trample, the amount of damage it deals, that's the token you make. So we wouldn't make a 6/6, we would make a 12/12. And there's even a chance that with the Crystalline Giant, we would have gotten trample at the beginning of our battle step, and if we did that, then we get to make it even bigger, you know. Also, our opponent was pretty close to just dead there anyway, but yeah, well, we kind of came out with some big threats, and then Obosh just put the nail in the coffin, so sweet. Deck going just as we planned. Alright, game 3 of our 5 colors cycling, I don't even know deck. Yeah, we'll keep this. I mean, we can cast our Alert Herd Bonder, cycle away this Frost Ambush. We've got Vigilance Tribal going on here. Definitely cycle this. We are so far away from that. Okay, Brushwag's not bad. We can do that this turn. And we may just, depending on what our opponent does, we may just run out the Farfinder to make sure we hit our land drops. We'll see. It would be nice to get down an actual 3-drop of some consequence. Oh, Helica Glider. Okay, I think we do run out the Helica Glider here, give it flying, because if we end up, well, we'll just pass a turn. If we end up playing our Obosh, and then we'll have basically a 4/4 flyer with this Helica Glider, that's really nice. Opponent so far we haven't seen anything but green. Okay. Yeah. And do we just... We could risk it and see if we hit a land. We'd be in a little bit better shape, but I think we just, Yeah, I guess we just attack with the Brushwag, and if they want to throw away a Naturalist, we'll do that instead. Okay, they're just going to take it. Alright, well, Farfinder. Go and get the mana we need for Obosh. Go and get another Mountain. Pass turn. And so next turn we can play Obosh, and we'll have Helica Glider getting in as a 4/4 in the air. Not too shabby. Okay, so they're green-white, potentially a third color, because they do have these Humble Naturalists, which mean they could be playing really anything. But the fact that they drew so many 4s makes me think they're maybe just 2 or 3 color, hopefully not more than that, but they could be, who knows. Okay. Draftrid does complicate things. Now our 4/4 flyer can't get through. So that's a little unfortunate. We will eventually, we'll get to play this Obosh and then get in with Brushwag and start threatening to pump Brushwag, which is nice. I still do think we play Obosh here, because if they are just green-white, they don't have many great answers to Obosh. Oh, Swallow Hole is really good. We'll save that for next turn. We're just going to use up all of our mana by playing Obosh this turn, and then pass the turn. And next turn we can Swallow Hole, like tap down this Farfinder or something, and then just get in with the team with this Giraffe out of the way. Oh yeah, our opponent's just doing nothing this turn. Okay, so they're on Bant. They were probably stuck on mana, I imagine. Snare Tactician's not bad either, but I think we... Yeah, we'll... You know... Oh, it can only hit tapped creatures. I'm an idiot. Okay, yeah, that... Didn't think that went through all the way, so I guess we just want to run out... I guess we want to run out the Tactician. If we end up drawing... If we end up drawing a Cycling card, we can tap down this Girafarid. I guess we should have attacked with a Brushwag first to threaten pumping it, because if they ended up throwing the Girafarid in front of it, we could eat it. Although that does put us in a position where if they like just block with one natural Humblest, we have to, or Humble Naturalist, we have to basically spend our whole turn just pumping our Brushwag to eat a Naturalist, which isn't very good. I think we're okay just building up the board here. If we do eventually do some big Alpha Strike, it should be pretty good. We do have a lot of bombs to draw into, like Quartzwood Crasher and etc., etc. Okay. Honey Mammoth, sure. That's fine. Now we will attack with Brushwag, and if they block, we're in a position to kill either of these. Okay, we will activate. Kill the honey. Man, that's not a Brushwag. Not too bad. And we will. I think we're actually gonna swallow whole. No, I guess there's no real reason to do that. I was gonna say we can swallow whole just to pump our Helicoglider, but I think because we have the Snare Tactician, we can eventually tap down this Rapid. So I think we just wait. Eventually we'll draw. We have plenty of cycling cards, so eventually we'll draw into a cycling card, tap this down, and be able to eat it with swallow whole. And we'll be in pretty good shape. We haven't seen anything too scary for our opponents. There has to be a reason they're in these colors. Girafarid and a random 6/6 aren't it. There we go, Archipelagore. Alright. So that is going to tap down one of our creatures for a good long time. Maybe they'll actually attack with the Archipelagore, though. It's possible. Alright. See if they get frisky. They do, wow. Maybe just take 7. The plan is here to exile the Archipelagore. And if they're not holding up a counterspell, which they may be, we would love for them to tap out here, but they do not. Okay, we are going to try to bait out something, so we will attack with everything. See if we can get them to flash something in to tap themselves out, or something. Oh, they don't. Okay, I think we try. Okay, you know what? Actually, first we'll play the Heat Bonder. See if they counter that. Okay, now they're tapped out. Now we'll play the Goriak, and we'll play the Swallow Hole, eating their Archipelagore, tapping down our Goriak, put a counter on it, and now we're in pretty good shape. We got the big threats out of the way, the big mutation threat, and also the thing that could actually block our flyer. All right, they run out of Thieving Otter. Sure. Not too worried about that. Okay, we'll go to combat. We will attack with Goriak, attack with Helicoglider. Man, just leave the rest back. We want to leave the Snare Tactician. Eventually we're going to draw into some cycling for the Snare Tactician. So, they could potentially throw everything in front of this Goriak, in which case we'll just eat both the Naturalists, and that's fine. Sure, and we will play Thornwood Balls, gain some life. Play Prickly Marmoset, and we're tapped out. The best thing to draw would be anything with cycling to turn on this Snare Tactician. Okay, opponent's just going to cycle away a Wiltshire. Opponent's got to have something pretty good here. We're in pretty good shape. There are cards definitely that can get them out of it. Okay, they're just going to cycle Boon to the Wishgiver. That's a pretty good sign. It means like that they feel like they're under enough pressure that they can't sit around waiting to draw 4 cards. So if that's the case, that hopefully means they don't have anything in hand that kind of deals with the situation. I mean, you see the power of Obosh here. They're just cycling, looking for something, some sort of answer, but Obosh is... Yep, Obosh makes it... Look at this board, like, we have a bunch of really not so great commons, right? We have a 2/2 flyer, we have a 1/1, we have a 2/3, a 3/5, and a 2/3, and that is... With our commander on the board, that's just beyond lethal. Like it's terrifying. They can't just stall out against that. It's gonna just kill them so quickly. So yeah. Turns out our companion's busted. Who would have guessed? But on to the next one. All right, next game with our we'll keep this with our play all rares and some cycling cards dot deck. And I mean, look, this hand looks like it's non-functional, but in reality, we've got Almighty Brushwag plus cycling next turn into Farfinder to get us our the red source for Obosh, so we got everything we need right in this hand. So yeah, we'll just run out our Brushwag. So glad they brought back Brushwags. Look at the guy. And we'll pass turn. Plan on cycling this Frostdale Ambush. We could potentially keep it. I guess we're not that far away from actually casting the ambush. I think we cycle it. Okay, Swallow Hole is nice. I guess, there's a question of whether we go get our red source or a white source for that. I guess I'm not going to attack into a blue-black flash deck here, so I guess we just run out the... If they have a counter, maybe we want to run out the Heat Bonder so our Farfinder doesn't get countered. Yeah, I talked myself into it. We're going to run out the Heat Bonder. And pass turn. So we didn't want to attack with Brushwhack there because blue-black has a lot of flash support in this set. So we don't want to just, ooh, that is a good draw. Yeah, I think we just... Yeah, we're going to fire it off now. Draw 2 cards while we've got a human and a non-human. Okay, we'll play our mountain. Go to combat. Is there anything I could flash in that at 4 mana? I can't think of anything, so I'm just going to attack with this Herd Bonder, or Heat Bonder. If they do flash something in and eat it, at least we get them tapped down so we can safely play this Farfinder and get to the rest of our mana. I think we do get a white source at this point. Even though we do want to play Obosh, we have 2 white cards in hand. And both of them are pretty good on this board. Being able to play Batagia Tiger next turn and pump up our Heat Bonder would be nice. Okay, well, let's see if they let us resolve this Farfinder. They do, okay. Go and get a white source. We're more likely to draw a black, red source, I think, anyway, so we'll just pass a turn here. Opponent still hasn't done anything yet. Okay. Huh. They didn't want to trade with a Herd Bonder, interesting. They'd rather keep their 4-2, that's fine. Coordinated Charge isn't bad. We'll save that, I think, for a bit. I think we just Batagia Tiger here. See if it resolves. Pretty decent chance it does not. Okay, does get countered, sure. And yeah, I guess we attack with the Heat Bonder. Sure. We'll trade our 3-drop for their 4-drop. There's some argument we shouldn't do this because we have Coordinated Charge, but I think I'd rather keep the pressure on to make them force them to do something. Because with their board empty like this, they can't just afford to do nothing when we have this Brushwag. If they just sit there countering stuff, they're eventually going to die, regardless of how small our creatures are. Okay, Phage Dolphin. Okay. Sure. They're leaving up a conspicuous amount of mana. I think here we will play an island. Go to combat. Attack with our Brushwag. Okay, opponent takes it. Play our Ikoria. Play our Frenzied Raptor. Alright, pass turn. We are a little bit scared about the Leech, whatever that thing is called. The 6 mana flash it in, give something -2/-2. That'd be pretty good against us. Because it'd be able to eat our Frenzied Raptor here. So we probably don't want to just cast this Coordinated Charge into 6 mana like they have here, because they could easily kill that combat step. Alright, they're just going to deadweight our little 1/1, sure. Bounce our Frenzied Raptor. Okay, but they are tapped out here. So if we draw a red source, we can just drop our Obosh, which is pretty nice. Here I think we will just play out Snare Tactician, Frenzied Raptor, pass a turn. Maybe we can also cycle this Coordinated Charge if we don't want to cast it. Tap down the Phage Dolphin and potentially eat it with Swallowhole if we feel like it. It also depends if we draw a red source next turn. Okay, Wingfold Pateran. Giving it a hexproof counter. That makes things a little more complicated. Okay. Phage Dolphin's not bad. That's something that can get our attackers past Terran. So I think we will play Phage Dolphin. I think we will cycle the Coordinated Charge. Tap down the Phage Dolphin. And then I think we will play Swallowhole. Pump up our Frenzy Raptor, which gets it out of the way of that Leech, and also makes it a great thing to make unblockable with our Phage Dolphin. And then we'll pass a turn. And so if we can play Obosh before we start, like, say we draw a red source next turn, we play our Obosh, we can attack with a Phage Dolphin, attack with a Frenzied Raptor, The Frenzy Raptor will actually do 10 damage, unblocked. That's pretty nice. Okay. We can do everything. No, don't tap us out of red here, so we'll go blue, blue, white. Play our Farfinder. We'll get a red source. And, I mean, if they tap out to counter our Obosh here, that sucks, but it also means this Frenzy Raptor's gonna get in. Okay, alright. Go to combat. Attack, attack. Let's see. And what is the worst thing that can happen here? If they flash in that leech, it gets to... I mean, it'll only trade. I think we just attack with everything. Except for Snare Tactician. Yeah, we're gonna attack like this. Make our Frenzied Raptor unblockable. They can block our Goriak, but they still take 2 from this Phase Dolphin if they do that. So it was a little more damage intensive for us to attack with a Goriak too. I was considering attacking with just everything, but I think the potential for a blowout if they flash in... Okay, well that's not so bad. I was more worried about the leech. Just a 2/2 is not a big deal. Okay, blocking our Phase Dolphin and blocking our Goriak. Just gonna chump. Yeah, okay. Just gonna chump and just bounce off each other unless they've got some sort of combat trick. Okay, and they're gonna blow our Obosh. I mean, that is good. I mean, a 2-for-1 them to get rid of our Obosh, which is definitely worth it. But I mean, we're still getting in for 5 unblocked here, and we're not really losing anything as far as I mean, like this Phase Dolphin and this Terran are just gonna bounce off each other, and the Frenzied Raptor is still getting in for 5. So, oh, well, that was a good last card. Okay, now it's a Hexproof Death Touch. That's pretty brutal. Alright, we're gonna need to draw the rest of our... Okay, just gonna have a little Death Touch here, sure. We're gonna need to draw the rest of our motley crew of rares here. I'm afraid to play this Excavation Mole. It feels almost certain that if I play this mole, I'm gonna mill something good and regret it. I mean, from a purely, like, logistic point of view, that shouldn't be true, right? I should be just as likely to mill 3 lands out of the way. Ugh, I think I should play it. I mean, strictly logically, I should play it, but... Oh! I knew I was gonna mill something good. God. Alright, and pass turn. So we've milled one of our bomb rares. Our Quartzwood Crasher would have been pretty great on this board. And we draw a land, of course. Attack, attack. No, we can't kill him, so pass turn. We'd just be throwing 2 creatures to death just to get in 6 or 7 points of damage, which is nice, but wouldn't leave us... It's not like after that we would untap onto a board that would then be lethal, right? That would put them at 5, and we would have... At that point, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Well... If they have nothing in hand... Maybe we should have been playing towards the out that they have nothing, and we just need to swing in with everything before they draw something. Alright, they're just playing... Well, this would have made it not lethal, so now it seems like we made the right choice. Oh my... It always happens like this. It always happens like this. You always mill your best cards, and then mill yourself right into a nice pocket of lands, don't you? I mean, really, it doesn't all... Oh man, Bastard Reader's bad for us. Man, I hope we draw some way to kill that. Barrier Breach. Well, I'm just gonna cycle that. Get the Death Toucher out of the way. Proceed to draw a land. And pass turn. Yeah. That Terran, I think, single-handedly has stopped us. Being able to put a Death Touch counter on that has been pretty brutal. And our one creature that can kind of attack through it, or at least force a trade, is Quartzwood Crasher, and we lost it. I guess we do... Well, we lost one of the ways to give our creatures flying, but by putting Hexproof on this thing, they actually made it not a flyer anymore. So, they don't have flying on the board. Okay, they're just going to make us discard an island, that's fine. Let's see, are we more likely to mill here? We are. So really flyers. Maybe we can close it out with flyers. Frostfell Ambush. I mean, by cycling it, we basically get half of its effect anyway. So we will cycle. Tap down Cavern Whisperer. Hopefully don't draw a land. Okay. Cycle. Tap down Night Squad Commando. Oh my goodness, and we will... Do we attack first? Could we draw something that's good pre-combat? I don't think so. I think everything is not going to matter what we hit. If we attack first, we... Okay, they only got 1 black mana up anyway. I was thinking they had more mana than they did. Alright, cast Genesis Ultimatum. Put everything onto the battlefield. We're actually going to decline to search because we only got 4 cards left in our deck. Go to combat. This has first strike now. And we'll just swing with everything. They do get to kill our Frenzied Raptor, but everything else pretty much gets in. They can eat a 1/1 with their Facet Reader, but whatever. We're trying to just put ourselves in a position where we can hopefully win the following turn. We've only got 4 cards in our deck, so now we're at the point where we actually just have to stop waiting around. Put the pedal to the metal. Alright. Pass turn. Yeah, this Excavation Mole, I mean, a 3-mana 3/3 Trampler is pretty good, but this, the milling the top 3 cards of your deck is actually, unless you're specifically built around it, that's not an insignificant downside in Limited. You only got 40 cards in your deck, and it, you know, you can see here that in formats where it's, you know, where stalling out is not abnormal, it does become a problem to just mill yourself coincidentally. If we were at 7 instead of... Okay. It's kind of weird. But it does make them not dead to a flyer anymore, which is something. Okay, so they draw a card and we discard a non-existent card. That does... One of the good ways we had... Wow, they're actually attacking. That can't be right. I think what they should do here is, now that they have a flyer, they should just leave it back on defense. Because one of the few ways we have of winning here is Crystalline Giant getting a flying counter on it, and... okay. We attack with everything here. They block, 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 block. Take 2 or 1. Does it get better next turn? Ugh. Yeah, I think we have to pass. Oop. I don't know how that happened, but we have to pass. See what... Well, let's see what ability we get on it first. It actually got flying! Oh my god. Okay. Can we get through 1 point of damage? So this 3 is guaranteed. Then they have... Okay, they can block, block, block... Ah, no, we don't get... So we don't get through a point of damage if we attack with everything else, I'm pretty sure. Block, 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 block. Yeah, they have exactly enough blockers that they don't take 1 point of damage. If we drew anything besides a mountain, damn. Alright, and then we'll pass a turn. End the turn. Make them wonder if we have something in hand. Hopefully they don't draw into a removal spell here. We're out of deck is the problem. That really, if... Ugh. Maybe it was wrong to play Excavation Mole. Maybe I should have just... Maybe a 3/3 was not going to make that much of a difference, and I risked... Lifelink is a problem here, so... Yeah, Lifelink and Death Touch. Not great for us. Well, we draw... I don't know if we have any cycle... We should have a Magma whatever. Oh, another flyer? And one that can even untap itself. That's bad. That's pretty bad. Well, maybe we'll get a trample counter. Archipelagor. Okay. Archipelagor. Mutate onto Excavation Mole. Put it on top. Tap down the Cavern Whisperer. Does this do it? Okay, first we'll go to combat. Maybe we'll get a trample counter on our Crystalline Giant, in which case we just win. Lifelink. Okay, so if we attack with everything, they can block, soak up 3, gain 3, take 1 damage from this effectively. Block, block. God, they... do they die? Block, block. They have to block everything, so block, 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 block. Okay, I think they die exactly. Because they gain 3, they block 3, but they take 1 from trample. I think they die exact... Oh, wait, the Terran. I wasn't counting the Terran. Hold on. So they block, gain 1. They can block and take 0. Ugh. Yeah, I think we can't kill them by attacking. If we got a trample counter... The good thing is we're set up to win next turn if they don't get an answer to our Crystalline Giant. So... we have their Cavern Whisperer tapped down for 2 turns thanks to Archipelagor. Pass a turn. And if they attack with Grim Sundancer, hopefully we should have lethal. Oh, come on. Have them draw a land. Land, land, land. Draw. I guess they have Facet Reader for a redraw, though. Oh, it's coming down to the wire here. We got 2 cards left in our deck. Okay, Grim Dancer, sure. Guess we don't have a great block against that, do we? I guess we just take it. Yeah, we're just going to take it. We got to win the next couple turns anyway, so killing that when it's already tapped down doesn't really change anything. We would rather just have the other attacker. Now a +1/+1 counter on Crystalline Giant, because that's one of the options as well, is just putting a +1/+1 counter on it, instead of an ability counter. That would do it. Come on, Windscarred Crag. Okay, do we have lethal? Block, 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 block. Take... Okay, we have lethal here. We'll see what we get. Menace. Well, they probably have something to flash in. I think we gotta go for it. I think we just gotta do it. If they have nothing, they're dead. They can block, 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 and they take 1 point of trample damage. Okay, they did have a Lurking Deadeye, so they're not dead. But we do get to kill this Terran, hopefully. Okay, unless they're just gonna block it. Well, they gotta block everything, so... yeah. They're gonna have to double block the Archipelagor with a Night Squad Commando and a Terran. Yeah, they gotta block him. Block with both, and so at least we kill the Terran, get that out of the way. Okay. Sure. We do have a Menace counter on this Crystalline Giant now, so maybe we can pull this off. Yep, kill the Terran. Play Windscarred Crag. And it all comes down to this. If we can get a +1/+1 counter on our Crystalline Giant, we win. I have no idea what the last card in our deck is. Could probably figure it out by looking through my graveyard, but I have no idea. Hopefully it's not a land. It could be a land. Okay, they tap their Facet Reader. Sure. Gain 3 life. They're still dead to +1/+1 counter. Yeah, no reason to block. Come on now. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, Crystalline Giant. Ugh. Helica Glider would have been fantastic any turn except for this one. Is +1/+1 counter or bust? What do we get? Trample? That's game. Man. Wow, if we had one more turn. Man, well, that went just perfectly wrong for us. If we had drawn that Helica Glider any turn except for the very last turn of the game, it would have won us the game. If we had gotten that trample counter any turn except that particular turn, it would have won us the game. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe there was some argument that we should have started attacking in earlier, throwing creatures away to get in damage earlier, so our Crystalline Giant would maybe finish things off. I don't know. There's probably some argument to take some line we didn't take, but it kind of did have to unfold a very particular way for us to lose there, and that's with the Flyer being the very last card in our deck, where it would have been lethal at any point in the game, just having one more Flyer, and also not getting a +1/+1 counter at any point, and also not getting a trample counter until it didn't matter anymore. So just you know, it just so happened to perfectly kind of come out in our opponent's favor. But you can still see our deck went off, and I'm gonna lay awake at night wondering if we shouldn't have played that mole. I think almost we shouldn't. I think it, you know, mathematically, there's no way to tell what you're gonna mill. You know, you're just as likely to mill 3 lands as anything important. But realistically, maybe we should have just said a 3/3 is not gonna do much on this board. And maybe we should have just said we don't want to risk the chance of milling a threat that could actually win us the game. So, anyway, on to the next one. Alright, up against Wombat Slayer, and this is a pretty stinky hand. I don't think we mulligan that much with this deck, with all the cycling and Farfinders we got, but that was a hand we do. I don't know. I guess we go down a Survi Crystal. Okay, Blade of Plains. We got nothing to do until turn 3, but then we got all the 3 drops in the west. Durable Coil Bog, sure. Play Forest, fast turn. Sure. Okay. Farfinder. Go and get a red source. So Coil Bug's a pretty bad card, but it is getting in for a little damage here. Alright, play Mountain, and I think we will get in. You know what, we're not going to run this into the 4-2, actually. We'll just play our Prickly Marmoset past the turn. Our opponent probably will fear this a bit. Okay, they're just going to cycle with Migration Path, sure. Okay, Barrier Breach, not bad. Yeah, you know what, we're just going to attack with the Prickly Marmoset. Opponent takes it, sure. And go to end phase. I think we just I think we Ikoria. Plan on cycling this Barrier Breach. Unless our opponent plays some sort of enchantment we really want to kill. Bushmeat Poacher, sure. Yeah, I think we do cycle here, because we're planning to play Obosh, so... Okay. Ooh, Quartzwood Crasher's pretty good. So, play Obosh. Play Island. Attack and attack. Sure. They can block with their Poacher. Sure. Well, it's got first strike, so this isn't going to work how our opponent wants it to. And pass turn. They could have double blocked the Goriak, but blocking the Marmoset there didn't work out so well for them. Okay. Attack with everything. Sure. Put our opponent down to 2, and yeah, then we just play the Quartzwood Crasher. Fast turn. And we got them dead in a half here, unless they have, like, literal Wrath of God. Yep, Coil Bug. Didn't quite get it done, so we didn't really even get to see our opponent's deck do anything there. They were some sort of black-white sacrifice deck, but they only cast 2 cards, and we just kind of completely blew them out, so... Alright, on to the next one. Okay, okay, we're up against... I don't know how to read our opponent's name. I think that's Japanese, maybe Korean? I don't know. Anyway, we're up against somebody, and we're going to keep this hand. We get to cycle away these Frostspell ambushes. If we hit 1 land, we get to Farfinder, and we have the white for our Swallow Hole, so looking pretty good, all things considered. Okay, we're also going to cycle. Green source is good. That means we can Breast Swag plus, ooh, Crystalline Giant. We are definitely just going to run that out next turn. start getting counters on it ASAP rather than play out our Farfinder. Because we can always, I mean, we're not really missing anything by playing that out a turn later. Okay, well. Sure, they blitzed the Thunder Raptor to kill our Brushwag, because I guess they were afraid of our Brushwag, but we'll play Crystalline Giant. See what we get. Okay, +1/+1, so we played a 3-mana 4/4, not too bad, but of course we'd rather, the best thing to get turn 1 is Hexproof, because then it's just like, it's unleashed, you know? Here we will, I guess first let's go to combat, see what we get. Death Touch. I think we do get in. It's a little risky. Now we're gonna Farfinder. So if they end up killing this Farfinder just to get in with a Thieving Otter, we're okay with that anyway, because we basically already broke even with this. And pass turn. We are just gonna chump with this Farfinder though. Keep the Thieving Otter off the board. The reason we wanted to get in with the Crystalline Giant there is we're about to play this Obosh. Okay, now that they got their own, this one has Vigilance. That's fine. Sure. Evil block. I guess we can't actually swallow whole it now. Vigilance was actually really good. Okay, play Obosh. We would like Vigilance. Lifelink. Yeah, we're still gonna get in. Again, we do have some risk if they kill our Obosh here, and then they're able to hit us with a Thieving Otter, but we're not gonna give up 8 points of lifelinking damage to play safe. Okay, Wingspan Mentor can give flying to the Otters. They are going to get to draw a card here, but we're not too worried. Oh, I got 2 flyers. Wow, they're going to try to race us with a 8/8. They're going to try to race us with an 8/8 lifelinker. That doesn't seem right. So we're a bit away. We need blue sources, so this Survi Crystal doesn't help in that regard. So we're going to go to combat, see what we get with Crystalline Giant. Menace. Okay, so now they block and block. We're gonna attack with both here. Okay, but you gotta chump. You can't yet. It's got Menace. You can't do that. You gotta. He has to throw both in front of the Crystalline Giant. Lose both of them, but then take 6 points of damage to the face. Yeah, I'm gonna put that first. Sure. He loses both of his creatures. Then we will play Helica Glider, give it flying. We're actually going to play this Survi Crystal because we want to swallow whole the Thieving Otter, tapping our Helica Glider. That doesn't help us get closer to this Genesis Ultimatum, but it does get their threat off the board and makes our Helica Glider a little scarier, a little harder to answer. They have Blitz of the Thunder Raptor, for example. Well, it still kills it, never mind. I was going to say, I forgot they cycled that one on turn 1. Okay. Alright, so we were just able to answer them across the board. And our bombs, I mean, that's what our deck's basically doing. We have cycling, we have fixing, and we got bombs. And we're just plopping it out there. We couldn't take a lot of removal because we're playing Obosh, but we don't really need it when we have bombs this good. So, sweet. On to the next one. Okay, up against CT Zeal, and yeah, we're going to keep this hand. We've got Natural Tron and a half here, so we will keep this. We can say hello back. We can play Farfinder to get us our other red source, to play our Obosh, so we're looking pretty good. Blister Split Gremlin's a kind of interesting one. Doesn't seem like a good card to me, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, we'll just play the planes here. Plan on yeah, plan on cycling this Survi Crystal. Oh, it's on Grixis, okay. And they get to play it. Okay, so they're running some kind of aggressive deck, which I guess I should have guessed from the Blister Split Gremlin. Okay, Mountain's pretty good too. What do we want to play here? Prickly Marmoset does lock things down pretty well. Alert hurt, Heat Bonder gains us some life back. I think we'll play the Heat Bonder. It's harder to answer than any of our other threats with having 4 toughness. And it does gain us some life back to give us a buffer against this aggressive deck. really don't need to play Farfinder now that we've got another red source. Okay, Momentum Rumbler is very scary, for sure. And here we will... Does this have to attack every turn? Okay, no, it's when it attacks against its abilities, though. So given that, if we're going to double block this thing so it can't get too out of control... I guess double blocking it doesn't even work, does it? Huh. Okay, we'll Prickly Marmoset. Yeah, Momentum Rumbler's actually a bit of a problem. And we'll pass the turn. So we can double block it because we have a first striker here, so there's no combination for this Momentum Rumbler to just mess us up real bad. But, I mean, if they have a removal spell, it gets bad, because they can kill our elite Herd Bonder. Yeah. They could have an instant speed removal spell. I think we can't block it. I really want to double block it, because it puts them... we trade for the Momentum Rumbler no matter what, but if they have a removal spell, I think we just almost lose the game on the spot there. If they have a removal spell, they are leaving it up here, so I think we still have to play Obosh, though. Yeah, play Obosh. Attack with Herd Bonder. Okay, I should just run out the Cunning Nightbonder, sure. I'm just gonna, like, block with a bunch of stuff. Sure, we'll kill everything except the 1/1 human. When it pings us for 1, sure. Pass turn. We still can trade this Prickly Marmoset with our Momentum Rumbler, even with double strike, as long as this Obosh is on the battlefield. Again, we're blown out if they go like if they attack in, we block with the Prickly Marmoset and they kill our Obosh. Wait, we can't take 6 to the face every turn. Just trying to play it safe. I think we have to. Yeah, I think we have to block with Marmoset. If it happens, it happens. Okay, they trade. Oof. Oof. Okay. Oof. That was terrifying. Okay, I think we... Yeah, now we play Farfinder. Go get another blue source so we can get this Archipelago next turn. I tapped us out of white, which is a little annoying. We wanted to play this Snare Tactician. It's our second spell, but I guess we can just play Archipelago. And we're actually going to get another blue source, just so... I guess... What are we more likely to draw at this point? We need a blue source and a green source for our ultimatum. We have 2... Okay, we got a blue source. We have 3 green sources left. And we'll pass the turn. These Farfinders are 2/2s. Ooh, Slither Wisp is pretty scary. It does show the tension of this card, though, because they drew it like halfway through the game, where they've already played a number of spells with Flash, so I don't know how much they really have left at this point. Guess we'll find out. Well, we'll Archipelago, mutate onto a Farfinder. See what our opponent's got. Okay, we're just gonna kill the Farfinder, which is fine. We still get our Archipelago. And... yeah, we can't attack with a Farfinder because of the Night Squad commando. So... we still got basically a 14/7, thanks to Obosh, so... that still is going to be forcing them to chump every turn. Yeah, here we will attack with our 14/7. We got a chump. Having only 1 white source here is pretty bad. I think we just actually run out Patagia Tiger. Even though it would be nice to get this Snare Tactician down first, I think we just want the 6/4 flyer in the air to try to kill our opponent as quickly as possible. Ferocious Tigerilla, sure. Doesn't change much. They can block, like... they can put, like... oh, wow, Spontaneous Flight. This should do it, right? Yeah. We'll Spontaneous Flight our Archipelago, and that's game. Attack, attack, attack. Deal like a billion damage. Alright, thank you, Obosh. Just so easy to have lethal with Obosh. All you need is a little bit of evasion and GG. Alright. Our deck, I mean, our weird 4-color pile of cards that's just fixing cycling and bombs, it's been performing pretty well. So sweet. On to the next one. Okay, up to what are potentially the finals. Ugh. I guess we keep this. We do have cycling and cycling, so hopefully we can make this hand work out. So, with this hand, we're not in great shape. So I'm not going to call this the finals, because I think it's more likely we lose than we win here. And we'll pass turn. I think we're going to cycle away this Barrier Breach, just because it's the most likely card to be dead. Sure, Boot Nipper. Red-Black is also scary with this combination of cards we've got in our hand here. Okay, Survi Crystal is fixing. We probably just run out the Farfinder here, though. Go and get a... I guess a White Source. Next turn we can... okay, yeah. We will trade with this Boot Nipper. Okay. Play our White Source. Play our Survi... do we play our Marmoset? Yeah, we're going to play our Marmoset. We're going to play our Marmoset, cycle this Frostbell Ambush, and hope we draw into a land for our Obosh. That puts us in pretty good shape. Cycle our Ambush. Okay, that's not a land. Okay. Perfect. I guess we can't actually cast our Obosh, can we? That was a little silly. I guess we can still do this, that we can play Survi Crystal to have Obosh next turn. Play our Heat Bonder. And now we're set up to have a really good Obosh turn next turn. Or we could just play Crasher, actually. Maybe Crasher's just better. Our opponent looks like they're stuck on mana, so even though we kept... Oh, yeah. And this Spontaneous Flight should put the nail in the coffin. This is game. Alright, so... we, in all likelihood, are going to win this. I guess I'll wait till we actually do before I wrap things up. Alright, and we won this. Our opponent was just stuck on 2 lands. And, yeah, I mean, I think our deck pretty easily cruised to... We had one loss there, but really it was like a lot of things went wrong to make that loss happen. And most games we just crushed our opponents. And I think this deck shows the power of cycling above all. This deck, you know, let's take a look at it. This deck is so non-functional looking, right? We have 4 colors of mana. We have super stringent mana costs with this Grim Ultimatum, or rather this Genesis Ultimatum. We have, you know, one mana white spells and 1 mana green spells, and our deck that's also trying to cast Genesis Ultimatum. We have these, you know, just all over the place. This triple or double red and a green and double blue and you know, triple green-white hybrid. Like, our mana costs are all over the place. Our deck looks completely nonsensical, but look at how many cards we have with cycling. We have Frostveil Ambush 2 that have cycling 1, which is basically nothing. You know, we have Coordinated Charge, cycling 2. We have Survi Crystal, cycling 2. We have Barrier Breach, cycling 2. So we just have all these cards we can cycle away whenever we need to add consistency to our very inconsistent deck. It kind of like fixes our deck for us. All these become, instead of these big janky 5-drops, they become these situational cards that we can sometimes cast, but usually they're just like getting cards out of the way to make our deck more functional, make our deck smaller, essentially. And yeah, so it really just came down to, we had these rares. We had Quartzwood Crasher, we had Genesis Ultimatum, we had Crystalline Giant. We had our commander, of course, Obosh, and we really just coasted on the power of these sort of these big threats and just our consistency in being able to find them thanks to cycling, and thanks to our Farfinders making sure we have, you know, virtually perfect mana every game, even with how horrific our mana costs are and how, you know, we only really have 2 dual lands. We still were able to make almost always our mana work between this Farfinder and the Survi Crystal when we cast, you know, cast when we need to. So the point is, our deck is flexible. It's janky looking, it's a pile, but it's flexible, and that flexibility is what won us this draft and made it perform so well. So let's claim our prizes. Not so bad. 2,200 gems, 6 packs. Let's claim this. Open up our packs. So actually got 7. I guess I leveled up somewhere. Okay, Survi Triumph. These Tri-lands are good. They're definitely going to be super playable and standard for probably as long as they're in the format, so pretty good. Even if you're in like a a 2-color deck and you just don't have like the shock lands, like you just haven't pulled those out of packs, you don't want to spend the rare wild cards or whatever. I mean, if you're going to be running a tap land anyway, like if you're going to be running a red-white tap land, why not run this? Because it's also a red-white tap land that can coincidentally make black, and more importantly, you can cycle it away when you don't need it. You can pay the 3 mana and, you know, turn it into another card. So they're just great. Always glad to get rare lands out of packs, especially the tri-lands I think are pretty good. Parcel Beast is really good, Primal Empathy is interesting, and we got another tri-land. Maybe this will just be 7 packs of tri-lands, I'd be happy with that. Ruinous Ultimatum, pretty good. I think it's better in like Commander and Draft than it is in Standard, particularly, just because if you're doing some big hard to cast 7-drop thing, you probably do something that just wins the game instead of blows up your opponent's board. So, but it's probably going to be good in some decks that can like pull it out of their sideboard with wish effects. Unpredictable Cyclone's fine. Fun build around card. Mythos of Brokos. So basically, it returns 2 permanents from your graveyard to your hand, but if you cast it with a Sultai mana, you get to basically tutor a card as well, because you're moving a card from your deck to your graveyard, then you get to add 2 cards back to your hand. So basically, you turn it from returning 2 permanents from your graveyard to your hand to tutor a permanent, and then return 1 from your graveyard to your hand. So interesting card. Obosh, our hero this draft. Yeah, Companions that's the other big takeaway from our deck, is Companions make an inconsistent deck pretty consistent. And Cub Warden, so pretty cool. Okay card. Anyway, so that's going to wrap it up. This draft went just about as well as it could, and it showed how weird of a format Ikoria is, that you can draft a completely weirdo deck like we did and it'd still do pretty fantastic with it. So anyway, this has been 2D. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I enjoyed playing, so I'll see you next time.